Hello folks and welcome to Formula One Paddock Pass, your post-race edition for the 21st and final time in 2018. Whew! Here in Abu Dhabi. What a season, or a long season, but what a great season, and what a cracking way to finish it all off with a thrilling race under the lights here at Yas Marina. We even had rain in the middle, but through it all, Lewis Hamilton reigned there, supreme, leading from pole position and never realistically looking troubled. His teammate Valtteri Bottas held second for most of it, started to tail off about 3/4 of the way through the race though. A couple of mistakes, tyres going off, whatever the cause was. Vettel took second, Max Verstappen came through for third on a great day with so many stories. The end of so many eras at so many teams, be it full-time retirements from the sport, potential kind of going away or maybe coming back at some point, or just drivers switching teams or teams finishing their deals with engine suppliers. And all this at the end of a era of technical regulations which will be shifted again into 2019. Truly the end of an era then here in Abu Dhabi. But it's Lewis Hamilton who wins once again, the first driver in Formula One history to amass more than 400 points in a season. And by the end of it, nearly 90 ahead of the man who finished today's race in second place. Hamilton, your winner, Vettel second, and Max Verstappen third.
Lewis, the 73rd win of your career, but how difficult was it to secure after that early pit stop and having to manage those tyres in the second half of the race?
It was okay. It wasn't a stressful day at all. It was
one of the more simple ones?
It was just kind of standard procedure today. There was no real difficulties. There were challenging moments with the wind, stopping so early, which was a part of the plan already, but the balance that I had was not what I had hoped for. And so I wasn't sure whether the tyres were going to make it with that balance that I was having, and also the pace of the others. But then I was able to match people's pace, and then it got really windy at the end, but everyone had the same thing. And once I kind of figured out where the wind was, then I was able to kill it and did some great laps. And so, just really, really happy. I've been really susceptible, really adaptive this year, probably most adaptive that I've been. So I wanted to end with the way that I plan to start my next season.
You also had a big on-track battle with Max at one stage. Something
I actually thought it was Daniel, so I couldn't tell who it was.
Well, it was with Max, and it was exciting to watch. When you're going wheel to wheel with Red Bull, are they someone you're expecting to be a threat in the future?
Yeah, they've been very, very quick all year, and you can see what they've been really particularly quick in the race. Free practice and then in the race, qualifying is an area that they're obviously going to probably improve in for next year. If there was a six-way battle between the Ferraris, Red Bull and Mercedes, that would be even closer than much closer than it has been. Say, for example, with me and us and Ferrari, with then Red Bull next year would be awesome.
Sebastian, a strong race to finish, second place. You had the fastest lap towards the end there, so was the pace there to win?
No, ultimately not. I think yesterday we were not there, and today I think Lewis controlled the race. Obviously, we tried to do something different, stay out, and I was hoping that maybe his tyres won't last till the end, but they did, so we tried everything, but I needed more laps to get closer, and he still had very good pace in the end, so not enough. A bit like the whole year, not enough.
You say not enough, but they're still very fine margins. They're close results, so how do you reflect on Ferrari's season?
Well, it depends the way you look at it. Obviously, I think he had the ability to control the race starting from pole. Yesterday they were faster than us, and today obviously that gives them the chance to react. Obviously they jumped into the pits first, but also because they didn't want to lose the track position, so they had to move before us. No doubt I think the car was good today. Tricky to drive with these conditions, with the rain and the wind in the end, but that was the same for all of us. But in the end, as I said, not close enough to put a serious challenge to him.
And what's your mindset now? Do you start to reflect on 2018 and look on where you can improve, or do you start looking forward at 2019?
No, not yet. I think I need a bit of time now. I think we all do, and then the reflection usually comes on its own. The factory, the guys are flat out pushing for next year. They're not well off with some reflection. They need to stay full throttle. But certainly I think there's a couple of things that went wrong and we need to review. But I'm sure time will tell, and then I hope we come back stronger.
Max, a strong finish, but it looked like you made it hard for yourself at the start. What happened in the opening laps?
Yeah, so I had a problem with the engine again. Got into the safety mode, a bit odd, because the launch was good, but then I had no power. And then in the restart I had the same, so I overtook Ocon, and then again the safety mode, which was really weird. And then they found out there was a problem, so I cancelled a sensor, and then it was fine. So then we could finally work our way through the field, and that's what we did without any damage. And yeah, I think the team again did a great pit stop as well, and then it was all about managing those super soft tyres until the end, and I think we did that very well.
Given those issues, do you think you could have challenged for the victory if you hadn't had those things hampering you early on?
It's a bit difficult to say, but at least we would have been a bit closer with the pit stops and stuff. But on this track, once you're behind, it's really hard to overtake.
And you've had a really strong finish to the season. You've gone win, podium for the final 3 races. How do you reflect on 2018?
Yeah, very positively. I mean, out of the first 6 races, there were 5 which were not that great, but you know, the other 15 they were really good in general. So very happy about that, and hopefully we can keep that momentum going with the cars for next year. You know, we build hopefully a good car again, and then of course with a new partnership with Honda, which is very exciting, we can take that extra step forward.
And you mentioned momentum. Are you ready for a break, or do you wish we were going racing again in a couple of weeks?
Honestly, it doesn't really matter. You're anyway very reliable on the package you get as a driver, so it's good to have a little break and catch up with friends and family.
And so to the guy who finished today's race in 4th place, a great drive at the end of what's been an up and down season for him, but he finished incredibly strongly. Daniel Ricciardo with a powerful drive here at Yas Marina.
Yeah, I'll try and reflect on other races. Yeah, it wasn't the finest. I mean, we led a bit. I was really hoping the supers would have dropped off for the others, but yeah, they kept going. I think once I did 30-something laps with the Ultra, we knew that yeah, the super was going to be pretty robust. So yeah, I mean, I would have loved a podium. I can't help but be sad about that. But yeah, it's all good. It's all good. It was a cool 5 years. This year, for the most part, sucked. But yeah, the 5 years was cool, and I thank Red Bull for making me achieve all my milestones: poles, podiums, first wins. The family, 10 years. It was cool. Can't help but would have loved to have finished on a high, taking my shoe off, but it is sweaty, so I probably would have got myself sick, so maybe it's a blessing in disguise.
Max was just ahead of you. You didn't get on the radio and start bargaining about trying to swap the cars?
No, to be honest, when I got out of the pits with the Super, the pace was really strong, but it quickly dropped off. We had a really big peak, and then it felt like it settled into more or less everyone else's rhythm, so yeah. Obviously, if I was massively quicker, then I would have said something. But yeah, it felt like it all kind of just flattened off pretty quick. So yeah, just the end of the race was a bit flat, to be honest. So, I don't know. Hopefully, I mean, if you fell asleep, I don't blame you. But hopefully, everyone stayed up.
And next year's teammates should walk past. So
yeah,
focus on that already.
I was meaning to actually ask. I guess he's fine, but yeah, it's one of the most open tracks. So to roll here is crazy. But I just saw a replay, so glad he's okay. We'll try and I'm going to swear. I won't swear. We'll try and do some good stuff next year. No, it's like a positive swear, but it's all good. Anyway, I feel like I'm a bit sour right now. I'm not. I can't help but be disappointed not to be on the podium. But anyway, it is what it is. It's been a trying year, but thanks Red Bull. Thanks for the love, support, appreciation for 5 years with Red Bull Racing, 10 years with the family. Thanks for all the caffeine, and yeah, we'll move on now. So cheers.
And so, Valtteri Bottas, what did happen at that stage of the race when he started to lose pace, and ultimately those little moments that cost him what looks set to be a guaranteed bolted-on podium, 2nd place in the race? Was it something to do with the tyres after all?
Yeah, pretty tough race. It felt like slow and painful overall, and you know, just yeah, first lost the position to Sebastian. You know, the pace was feeling good before that. I was catching Lewis step by step. Then suddenly started to have lockups into turn 5, turn 8, so ended up doing mistakes. The team said they can see some issue, but they don't know yet what. And yeah, after that we also touched with Max when we were battling and had a slow puncture or something, so I had to stop again. So that was pretty much it.
When the team tells you there's an issue but they're not sure, does that knock your confidence? Is it hard to drive on the limit when you hear that?
Well, they told it after the race, but for me it was just quite difficult to drive the car without doing any mistakes. So I'm looking forward to hear more.
It's the end of the season and you haven't picked up a win this year, but there were plenty of opportunities, especially early in the season. How do you reflect on how 2018's gone?
It's gone to it. You know, it's amazing season. You know, in terms of how bad it was for me. So I'm just at the moment. The positive thing is the season's over. That makes me happy.
You still played your part in a Constructors' Championship victory, so ready to come back and hit it again in 2019?
Yeah, for sure, I will be ready. I'm not ready now, but I will be. Thanks.
So to Renault, really a game of two halves, tale of two cities. It's been a long year. Nico Hülkenberg, lap 1, really 50-50 actually with Romain Grosjean as the stewards decided, but the move flipped Nico into the barrier. There will of course be a debate that rages from this about halo and the whether that played any role in Nico not being able to get out of the car, whether it was just the angle against the barriers, because of course the car didn't come to a halt as it would normally do. The rear was lifted up and the car was sort of skewed in on the barrier. So would he been able to have got out without halo? Did it have any effect? That is a debate for another time. The good news is he's okay, and that's really all that matters, and he got out of the car. And the marshals did an amazing job to put the fire out at the back. We're going to hear from him, but also to Carlos Sainz, who had a belter of a race and did one of the most difficult things in Formula One, which was to make the overcut work. Absolutely blasted through 30-plus laps on a set of tyres, which was only supposed to last for 15, made the overcut work and came home a very, well, not just respectable, a very, very good 6th.
Yeah, definitely finishing in style, no? Exactly what I needed to finish the season and to go to McLaren full of confidence. I'm looking forward to it. I live in Renault, a lot of good friends apart from Nico. I got to know a lot of people, a lot of hard workers that I'm sure I will miss next year, but on top of that, it will be a pleasure to race against them.
And just on today's race, team got the strategy perfect for you today?
Strategy and pace was perfect, you know.
The race was a walk in the park.
It looked like it, but I was pushing like crazy, you know, to overcut so many people. Thank you. Yeah, it was good. Thank you. It was good. It was good because we had a plan. We didn't expect to go so long on the Ultra Soft. We thought we could go until lap 15, but all of a sudden I made it go until lap 33, overcutting the whole field. So it was good to see. You know, one of those days that everything comes together, and finally a lot of P6, P7s that went away from us for reliability issues, and today we have that P6 secured.
Well done.
Thank you.
Nico, that looked like a scary accident on the opening lap. Just talk us through how it was from your perspective.
Yeah, just frustrated obviously that the race finished so soon for me. You know, that's not how we imagined the last race, because it's such a long build-up, a lot of work goes into it, and then to have this is hard to swallow and disappointing. Obviously I was racing Romain side by side into turn 8. We both, you know, really late on the brakes, locking our inside wheels into it, and I ran wide, he ran wide, and I saw him more or less. I thought he went off the track. That's why I went for the apex in turn 9. I really didn't see him or heard him, so I went for the apex, but obviously he was still there. Our wheels touched and he launched me in the air, obviously.
And everything okay now? You've been checked over in the medical centre, all fine?
Yeah. They did more than check me over. I think I had a complete checkup, so I'm good for another year now.
And so to Sauber. And another great performance from Charles Leclerc, finishing in P7. A really strong race, a really great race, as he's had, you know, a really great season pretty much, well, I'd say for 3/4 of it. He'd started off a little wobbly, as you'd expect anyone coming up from F2, but he has matured into quite the phenomenal driver, and he will get a chance to show the world what he's capable of in a Ferrari next year, of course. Marcus Ericsson, his teammate, DNF from his last race. Bit of disappointment for him, not of his making, of course, car failure, cruel misfortune in his last race. He's off to IndyCar and massively looking forward to that. So here is Charles and here is Marcus.
Very happy, just for the info, I'm not crying, I just have sand in the eye. Yeah, it has been a great season. I'm disappointed about today because I think there was potential to be best of the rest, and I think we stopped a bit too early, but at the end, the whole season they have done an amazing job, and I will be forever grateful to them for everything they have learned me, for everything they have done. I don't think there have been many mistakes from their side from the beginning of the season, so yeah, it has been a great season, and yeah, a bit emotional to end it to end this story here, but really looking forward for the next step also.
Marcus, what went wrong? What did you feel inside the car there?
I don't know, some technical problem. The car just started to shut down for half a lap, and then it just had to stop the car. So we need to investigate, but obviously very disappointing to end the year like that.
Yeah, how did you think the race was going for you up until that point? You were running up in the top 10 for a while.
Yeah, I mean, we were looking all right, but I was not very happy with the car balance. It was very oversteery, so I was struggling quite a lot with that. But it was coming to me with the fuel going out, the temperature coming down. So I think the last sort of 5-6 laps, I started to pick up the pace and open up the gap to Gasly. So then, I think the race was coming towards us, and I'm always starting on the hardest compound. It's the second half, that's your time of the race. So I think that the race was just starting to come towards us when it happened. So it's a bit of a shame. I think we could have been maybe fighting for them points in the end.
Obviously not the way you want to sign off the year, but how do you reflect on 2018? What have been your highlights?
I think it's been a strong year for us as a team. I'm very proud of that. And for my personal opinion, I think Bahrain scoring the first points as Alfa Romeo Sauber was very special. And then last weekend, Brazil qualifying was also a special moment.
Up and down weekend for Force India. An interesting one from a political perspective because, of course, they were protested by Haas as to whether or not they were a constructor. It turns out that, of course, they are. But the stewards found, crucially, that they are a new team. Will that have a wider implication in the battle between Haas and Force India over payment structures to new teams? Time will tell. For now, though, the Grand Prix was looking great for both Sergio Perez and Esteban Ocon. Ocon having some great scraps, keeping his elbows out, had a great fight with Max Verstappen, and they didn't crash into each other this week, which was great. Ultimately, though, he would retire. Perez finished 8th, Ocon out of the points, but here they both are to talk to you.
The whole weekend I had some damage in the car since practice 1 all the way through the race. I've been lacking a lot of pace all the way through, so I knew that my only chance was lap 1. And I did a tremendous lap 1, went into the points with the best strategy of all. But then I got overcutted by Sainz, who clearly had more pace than myself, and also Leclerc. So yeah, in that respect, quite bad. But in the end, to get there with such a bad car, so much damage, I think it's a good result. Also, the team did a fantastic job with the strategy. I think we just got the maximum we could out of the weekend.
And it's been a tough season for Force India off the track, but on it, some great results. How do you reflect on it?
Yeah, a great year once again, The last 2 years I've been P7, this one P8 in the championship only by 7 points, so I think it was a good year in terms of results. It's been a tremendous year, very demanding mentally with all that has happened with the ownership of the team, etc. So yeah, looking forward for a fresh start, and I think the best is yet to come with this team.
Esteban, that looked like it was an exciting race for you until the car let you down. What happened?
Yeah, it's a shame to end the year like this. We did everything right, in that race. We had a great first stint, great overtaking maneuvers. I had a lot of fun on track. It was really cool, but the car decided to let us down on that time. It was looking like a point finish, so that was very strong, but doesn't matter that race. I would like to say a big thank you to all the people that support and gave me a lot of support this year for my cause. A lot of people felt it was not right, I was not going to be on the grid next year, and to the fans, the team members, the media also, they gave me a lot of support, and some drivers. I would like to tell them a big thank you and say that I will be back as soon as possible.
And you mentioned support from drivers. There was a driver that you've had a bit of a run in recently, and you were fighting him again on track today. How was that scrap with Max?
Yeah, it was good fun. Even if I knew, I had to let him go at some point. The team came in the radio saying, let him go. I thought it was good to show him, I was not scared of fighting him on track like back in the days.
At the end of a great year. And it can't be described as anything else for Haas, both drivers in the points. A fitting way to end a brilliant season that could have seen them finish incredibly in 4th place in the Constructors' Championship. They didn't, it's ultimately 5th, but something for the entire team to be incredibly proud of.
Roman, points for Haas, but let's start on the first lap. Can you talk us through the incident with Nico?
Yeah, we just talked with Nico, and he was not expecting me to be there, and I was not expecting him to turn so sharp. It was a very impressive role, and I'm very happy he's okay. Shows the safety in Formula 1. Obviously, it was not ideal. I think we picked up a lot of damage on the car that I carry on through the race. But the main thing is that he's okay. I think it wasn't ideal for the two of us. There's no hard feeling. I think it's a racing incident of two drivers trying to get in a tight corner. So yeah, I think after that, hanging there and finishing as the 2 cars and the points, it's a good finish for the team. Obviously, you always want more, but I think with the state of the car, we can be very happy.
Yeah, tough start to the race. Dropped back to, I don't know, almost last. And, you know, I was on the super soft, so I was able to go long and just, you know, drive back to my position and yeah, get into P10 in the end. So to score double points in the last race for the team obviously is great, and good way to go on holiday and work hard over the winter to come back strong, even stronger next year.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're happy with how the season's gone? Because you started very strongly, it got a bit tough, but a lot of points.
No, I'm very happy with the season. It's hard. It's easy to forget how young we still are as a team, and this is our 3rd year in Formula One with the Haas F1, and you know, we set out a goal this season to take a step forward, which for us would have been P7 in the championship. We got P5, you know, without any problems, and have been strong all year, and you know, challenged Renault and you know, Force India all the way to the end. So very happy with that. Exceeded the expectations.
And so to probably the most disappointed man in Formula One today, Kimi Räikkönen. Not because he retired, not because his time at Ferrari has come to an end, but because in not finishing higher in this Grand Prix, Max Verstappen finished 4th in the Drivers' Championship and Kimi Räikkönen finished 3rd, meaning Kimi's got to go to the FIA prize giving.
Kimi, obviously not the way you want to finish your Ferrari career. Can you tell us what happened? What did you feel on that lap before the car stopped?
Mostly we lost power on the first long straight, and then you know, try to sort it out. But once we get to the last corner, it's just shut down, and we lost all the power and electricity. So yeah, it's obviously not the way we wanted to finish, but this is how it goes in the sport.
And how do you reflect on the year as a whole, though? You've had a strong season, obviously, as you say, not the way you wanted it to end.
Yeah, I think we had pretty decent season. We had unfortunately a bit too many retirements, and that really hampered our progress a bit. But I think overall we've done pretty good job. But we always want more. But this is how it goes, and this is what we got in the end. So, you know, like it or not, that's the end result. So.
An early finish today, but you'll be back here testing for Sauber next week. How are you excited for your new challenge?
Yeah, I'm actually. I mean, I wouldn't have never signed the contract if I wouldn't think it will be something I want. So yeah, we'll see. I wanted to do the test to see how the car is. If there's any big things we need to look at, we have more time, and also there is next year's tires. So you know, it will be interesting to start working with them and new challenge, and that's what I wanted.
And so we come to McLaren, and it was not to be the fairy tale ending that either Fernando Alonso or Stoffel van Dorn had hoped for. Neither one of them in the points, in fact just outside for Fernando in 11th place. He did, however, have the consolation of driver of the day in his last ever, for now, Formula One Grand Prix.
Yeah, we try as always. We gave it all in the track. We were fighting with the 2 Haases until the last couple of corners, and yeah, it was nice weekend in general, and also the in-lap was very emotional. With I found Luis and Sebastian doing donuts in some corners, and then yeah, they tried to be with me until the start-finish line, and we did some donuts there. So yeah, it was you know, very touchy weekend. You know, from Formula One, from my team, from the fans. You know, I had a lot of support and a lot of respect from everyone, so you know, I feel honoured and I feel very happy.
You're obviously focusing on the race, but what's it like being your final Grand Prix? Is there any part that you just stop and take it all in and realise that it's nearly over?
Not yet. I think in a couple of days, you know, in the race it was again as a normal race, fighting for the tyre management, the fuel saving, all these things, and then yeah, fighting for points until the end, until the last lap. And but I had really no time, you know, literally no time. And on the weekend, this morning has been the busiest morning ever in a Grand Prix. I tried to sit down and check my telephone, and after 30 seconds, Silvia was coming, or someone on the team knocking the door, and I had to say hello to a new person. So it has been very, very busy. So I think I need 2 or 3 days to check and realize, you know, all the things that I lived this weekend, and it will be always in my heart.
You said next year you'll recharge your batteries. People keep asking you about your future, and you can't predict the future. But would you be disappointed if this really was it for you in Formula One?
No, not at all. I think I consider this the last race. Who knows what the future will bring, but for now I think this is the last. I feel very happy, very privileged with all the success that I had, over the years, driving for amazing teams, and coming from a very normal family from the north of Spain, go-kart driver. Eventually, you find yourself in Formula One and winning championship, and 17 years of magic in the sport. So happy for that, very proud, and see you soon.
Not the points finish to the season that Toro Rosso had hoped for, although Pierre Gasly found himself in 10th place after Esteban Ocon's retirement, only for his Honda engine to apparently go. An ominous sign for him as he moves to Red Bull Racing next year. Red Bull Racing, of course, taking on those Honda engines for 2019. Mystery still shrouds the future of Brendan Hartley after an up and down season. We will see how that all plays out. But for today, it is Gasly DNF and Hartley out of the points.
Brendan, looked like a tough afternoon out there. Points were just out of reach. How do you sum it up, the final race of the season?
Yeah, it was all kind of over on the first lap. Had nowhere to go with the crash into turn 8. I don't know what happened, but I had to go off track to avoid the cars in front. There was debris, damaged the front wing, so I had to stop on lap 1. And I did a whole race on one set of tyres, so it was pretty tough going. I managed the tyres well, but didn't really have the pace to get into the points with just one set of tyres for the whole day.
That's the 2018 season wrapped up. How do you reflect on your first full season in Formula One?
Yeah, a lot learned. Definitely finished a lot stronger than I started. The last few races have been great. So today didn't work out as planned. But yeah, I'm happy with the progression, and I feel I came out of the season a lot stronger individual and racing driver.
Pierre, tough afternoon. You just got yourself up into the points and then the car let go. What happened?
Yeah, quite difficult weekend for us. So yeah, the race was pretty fun. Started 17th, managed to come back to P10, fighting with Romain who finished P9, and yeah, a couple, I think 8 laps to the end, we had an issue, a lot of smoke coming out of the car, and yeah, I don't know exactly what's happened, but unfortunately the season started the same way, ended the same way it started. But no, I think overall it was a really good, positive season on my side. I really enjoyed with Toro Rosso, and yeah, we remember the good weekends.
Yeah, your rookie year, and it's been an impressive one, and you move up to Red Bull next year, so how excited are you for that next challenge?
Yeah, really excited. Yeah, chapter ends tonight with the team, and then a new page, new chapter starts tomorrow with Red Bull. So of course I'm really excited. I'm really excited to start working with the team, but still I'm gonna miss these guys, miss Fabi, miss all the mechanics and the engineers, and yeah, they gave a lot to me. It's a team I really liked and enjoyed to work with a lot of passion, and for sure I will remember them. Thanks.
Not a great end to the year for Williams, but it was never going to be. The car lacked downforce, pace. It's just been a horrible year. Sirotkin finished last, Stroll a couple of places ahead of him. Let's hear from both of them at the end of what's been a really frustrating season. The one solace, I guess, that Lance Stroll can take from it all is he's recently been, literally within the last half an hour, has been announced to be testing with Force India for 2019 post-season. No announcement yet as to whether he'll be racing for them, but I think we can pretty much connect the dots.
Lance, your final race for Williams, how was it out there today?
It was challenging, but I thought, all in all, for the package we have, it was quite a good race. We beat one of the McLarens and finished in front of my teammate. So yeah, happy with that. Another good start, and then yeah, I was a bit of a passenger throughout the race, just with the car not having much pace. But we were able to go really long in the first stint, which is good. But yeah, then the wind picked up a little bit in the second stint, and really impacted the performance of the car and that ultra soft tire. So kind of went downhill from there. But yeah, unfortunately, which has been the case throughout the course of the year, it's just not enough to pick up points today.
Yeah, how do you reflect on the year? Have you learned a lot this season?
For sure, I've definitely grown, matured as a driver. But it's it's been a challenging year. Picked up 6 points, I believe. So yeah, not ideal, but I gave it my all, and it's definitely I'm sure it's definitely built some character.
Sergey, your final Grand Prix for Williams looked like a tough one out there. How was it in the car?
It's really painful. I mean, I had a bad start, or I mean, it wasn't the best start. Then I was like straight away lost all the ground. I wasn't in the best positions in the next sequence of corners, so couldn't really get it back. Then I had problems with the overheating with the car. So then for like 1/3 of the race, I had to do massive cooling. And it was such a painful race, such a painful stint. I was trying my best to cool it down as quick as I could, but it's been also the cars who were pitting. They were out behind me. I tried to fight, I tried to protect, same time cool the car, and it's honestly been just a mess. And I didn't enjoy it. And after everything got back under control, it's been just so late. I lost so many race time with that, and so yeah, it's been a very painful race. I really wanted to enjoy, and it's so painful to finish the season like this. So I'll need a bit of time to forget it.
So that, you beautiful lot, is that. It's been a hell of a year, and I want to thank you all for following along, for clicking, for watching, and coming on this journey with us. What a great year. Thank you for your support, thank you for watching what we've done, and thank you for your feedback, thank you for your comments, good and bad. Wow, not all of the bad ones. Some of you can be quite harsh. It's all right. Have a great winter, folks. We will be bringing you further content, of course, throughout the winter. It won't just stop here. But as for Paddock Pass, pre and post race, I'm pretty sure that's going to be your lot until Melbourne. Oh, actually, should we do some testing? Yeah. Yeah, why not? Have a lovely winter, a happy Christmas and all that kind of stuff, if that's what you do. And yeah, guys, we will see you in 2019. Thank you for a brilliant 2018.